Could you imagine living in a world for years with no access? Basic necessities were not within an arm's reach. Roaming the same community that seems to bypass you every week. Feeling unheard and unseen. Tugging at your pride and dignity. Banking on your life for the chance of just one possibility. Not a hand up, but a heart out. Simple piece of non-judgmental humanity.
During the last decade, Houston, the nation's fourth most populous city, has moved more than 25,000 homeless people directly into apartments and houses. The overwhelming majority of them have remained housed after 2 years. The number of people deemed homeless in the Houston region has been cut by 63% since 2011, according to the latest numbers from local officials.
In 1982, Houston Mayor Catherine Whitmire and Harris County Judge John Lindsay, along with area homeless service providers, realized that a neutral coordinating agency was needed. Reverend William Lawson, Archbishop Joseph Fiorenza, and Rabbi Samuel Karff, affectionately known as the Three Amigos, came together to unite faiths in a response to homelessness. From there, the Coalition for the Homeless was born. From its office in downtown Houston, the Coalition for the Homeless serves as the lead agency to the homeless response system, which encompasses Harris, Fort Bend, and Montgomery counties, covering more than 3,700 square miles. The Coalition for the Homeless of Houston and Harris County acts as a catalyst, uniting partners and maximizing resources to move people experiencing homelessness into permanent housing with supportive services. We have spent 4 decades building and strengthening relationships with nonprofits, local governments, housing authorities, and other stakeholders with the guiding belief that we go further and are more effective when we work together. We are a little different from service providers you may be familiar with. Our strategies focus on what solving homelessness requires on a macro scale. We maintain a high-level view of partners, resources, and community needs, and we play a unique and essential role, leading our local homeless response system with evidence and data-based strategies. Here's another way to think about who we are and what we do. Imagine an airport. They are the airlines that provide services to their customers. Then, there are the behind-the-scenes operations of the airport itself, everything that helps the process run smoothly, that customers might not think as much about, but are equally as important to get passengers safely to their destination. Now apply the analogy to homelessness. If someone is making the journey from homelessness to housing, the direct service providers are like the airlines who interact with them the most closely and help them along the way, agencies you might have heard of or volunteered with. The Coalition for the Homeless is like the airport. We run the behind-the-scenes processes that help get people from homelessness to housing. The Coalition for the Homeless has increased the capacity of our system and our individual partners to be able to get people experiencing homelessness off the streets, out of shelters, and into permanent housing. Since 2012, the Partners of the Way Home have moved more than 25,000 people into housing with a 90% success rate over the long term. Under the Coalition's leadership, we have increased the amount of federal Housing and Urban Development (COC) funds for the homeless response system from $25 million in 2012 to $45 million in 2021. As recently as 2019, the Coalition spent $1.5 million in general operating funds to secure and deploy $55 million in public funding resources to our community to address homelessness. Per the Coalition's financial audit for its 2021 fiscal year, only 17% of its expenses were for administration and fundraising, with 83% of its expenses dedicated to services. Any gift made in support of the Coalition does so much more than cover overhead expenses for our organization. It multiplies the resources available to our community to prevent and end homelessness for people and families. It allows the Coalition to continue leading the homeless response system that cities across the country and the world look to as a model of progress. And it allows the Coalition to continue changing lives for the next 40 years to come. Thank you.